it was at Pocatello that we were just about ready to go overseas, and we'd had a weekend pass and came back, went out to the flight line stupidly. That's the way the Army operated. Right off of a pass, you come back and go on a flight. And this was one of the last flights we were to make because it was a formation bombing flight, you know. I don't know remember how many planes were in it, but we were about 13,000 feet, and I'm sitting up on the flight deck reading magazines, and I see the co-pilot suddenly get in a panic situation. I look up at the, at a 4-engine plane, all duplicate sets of instruments on this side for the co-pilot, over here for the pilot. Fuel pressure gauge, 0. I looked out the wing, on fire. Oh my gosh. I think this thing is going to blow up at any minute. My parachute's up front. So I go, get off the flight deck, go outside beside the the front wheel, put on my parachute, come back, and they say, get out, get out, get out. I jumped out. It was about 13,000 feet.
Oh, man.
And I didn't have time to think about it. It was just get out. I knew that plane was going to blow up at any minute, but it didn't. And I got out, and the 6 enlisted men got out, but the pilot, the co-pilot, and the bombardier stayed with the plane. The pilot was trying to save it, of course, make sure that we got out. But as we were coming down the parachute, I saw the plane slowly going. It lost its lift on the right side, went in a slow turn like that. Oh, what an awesome sight that was, and I didn't know if anybody was in it or not at that time. I hadn't counted the parachutes, but I could see the parachutes coming down, but I didn't count them to see how many there were. I didn't know how many there were. So anyway, we get out of that situation, get picked up, taken to the hospital, spent a couple of days in the hospital, and
were you injured in the fall? Or?
Not seriously.
Okay.
I apparently was wearing a flight suit, and I had a pencil in my pocket. And when I met up with one of the guys on the ground, he said, "What's that in your chin?" Well, apparently a lead pencil I had in my pocket when I hit the ground, it broke it, and the lead was somewhere in my chin. I don't know. But anyway, that was the only. Other than that, no injuries at all. And oddly enough, we had never had any training as if in an emergency situation. We were just lucky. I don't know. It was just maybe you didn't need it. I mean, what do? You get out, you pull a ripcord, you land, and that's it. And hopefully you don't get hurt. Well, anyway, after I get sent home for 30 days, come back, get on another crew, and when I was at Davis-Monthan, we had gotten all these shots, tetanus, yellow fever, typhoid. I don't remember what all they were, but a whole bunch of them. Both arms were sore, I remember that. And but anyway, I get on another crew, and oddly enough, we're getting ready to go overseas again. I'm in the hospital. I was in the hospital 3 times during the service with this, what they called then jaundice. I don't know what it is. I think it's hepatitis now, but anyway, jaundice. Anyway, anybody that needed overwater training was a navigator. Well, on this particular flight, they took a different navigator, and the mission was to go out straight over Crater Lake in Oregon, go out 100 miles, parallel the coast, come into Hamilton Field in San Francisco, hit the Farallon Islands out there, and come in over the Golden Gate Bridge in Hamilton Field, and I don't remember what it is, a town just on the northern side of the Golden Gate Bridge, and we were supposed to land there. Well, I'm in the hospital. This plane leaves. They give a position report when they left the coast of Oregon. everything's fine, and never hear from them again. So I don't know what happened. I don't, maybe they just didn't tell me, but I never found out what happened. I just had to assume that they were above the clouds, and maybe the navigator wanted to get out, get a drift reading off the waves, the whitecaps, and they just went into the water, went into the ocean. I assume that. I don't know what happened. No one
Yeah.
ever told me.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Air Corps ever found out. But anyway, I spent that when I got out of the hospital. They said, Vorpahl, you know what? You cost us 2 airplanes. We're going to make an instructor out of you. So I became an instructor navigator with the 382nd Bomb Group. That was a group I was with all during my service.